I recorded on this. We're recording on that. Okay, are we centered? Are we close enough?
I feel like we're not centered.
we look like a fucking like little flower together. Little lotus.
Well, I can't look back because I'm gonna lose this.
Okay, our toes are on top.
As long as I can stay like this, I'm happy.
Oh, this is actually really comfy for me.
Yeah.
You?
Yeah, this is good. Way more comfortable than it was last time.
Okay, good. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But watch that little carrot. We'll call him a carrot. Okay. This is 30 going on 13. So I'm in my 30s, but I feel like I'm just now learning things that I wish I would have learned when I was 13. Turns out I have a lot of learning and healing to do. And this is where I'm going to do it. So let's go. It's time to grow. Hi everyone, welcome back to 30 Going on 13. In today's episode, I have a very special guest yet again for the second time. She is the first person on the show to come back again, twice. She was a huge hit the first time I had her. Very highly listened to episode. We had 2 episodes together, so obviously I had to have her back. She is none other than my bestie, Kay.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me back. This is an honor again.
Girl, I got you. Thank you for coming. I said this in our last podcasting sesh, but we talk all day long, every day. And then on the weekends, especially because we go to Lulu's and like the coffee shop. And so here's just another sit down, chit chat like we always do. But we pressed record today. So that's what's different about today for us.
We like as if we didn't do this 4 hours ago.
We literally did. We spent how many hours this morning together? 3?
We got to the gym at 9:45 and left at
1:45.
Yeah, probably.
So this is like a part 2 to our girly pop day.
I love it. And then we get a part 3 tomorrow.
Well, technically it's actually a part 3 because she came over and we debriefed, chatted, got real personal, and now this is part 3.
Right.
At 10:30 p.m.
I was going to say, made coffee, and now it's 11 p.m., and we have to be at Run Club at 8 a.m.
Yep. But that brings me to how different our Saturday nights look these days. Because the first time you came, girl, was 6 months ago, about. We were friends for only like 2 months, I think, at that point. And we were going out partying that same night, right?
That same night, yeah. That was the topic of conversation for the whole night, basically.
So embarrassing now.
It was December, and it was, where are we going? How are we getting there? How are we getting home? Like,
who's going?
Yes.
Who are we going to see? What boys are you talking to? And we were going out. I definitely drank that night, for sure. So we were going out drinking, probably got home at like at least 2 a.m. And that was what we used to do together when we started our friendship. And now, fast forward, 6 months later, our Saturday night consists of podcasting, talking about our feelings, and drinking coffee.
And getting ready for Sunday Fun Day.
Right.
Like
that's our biggest concern right now is like, we really want to podcast, but like we really have to be up early and like ready to go for a double header tomorrow morning.
A double header. That is a fantastic way to put it. And double headers are Sundays, and they used to be on Saturdays when we were going to High Rocks also.
Right. So now they're Sundays, which we look so forward to. But it's just so crazy how our lives have changed so drastically since the last time we podcasted together. And I think it'll be pretty apparent in comparison when we compare the 2 episodes, well, the last 2 episodes to this one, because we have changed so much as individual people, but also our friendship has changed so much and just grown and blossomed into what it is today.
Yeah, friendship, friend group, friend dynamic, like
social life,
us as people, social life, like habits, all of the choices, priorities, everything's changed.
Literally everything for the better.
Mm-hmm.
For the best.
Mm-hmm. For the best.
For the best. And with that, I have a question for you.
Shoot.
What is your favorite thing or one thing that sticks out to you that I have told you in our relationship? Piece of advice, words of encouragement, anything.
Oh, bad luck, good luck, who knows? For sure. That like changed my world when I heard that, yeah. And I was saying that consistently for like 3 weeks. And even, I think today,
we said
something
today.
happened. Yeah. I think about that all the time.
Yay. I love that. And listen to my Bad Luck, Good Luck, Who Knows episode if you haven't. I think it's titled The Story That Changed My Life. Such a good story. And one thing that you have told me that has really stuck out was when I was dating and trying to figure out if I liked someone and going through this like roller coaster of emotions daily of basically, I like him, I don't like him, I don't like this about him, I like this about him, oh, but I don't like him, I do like him. And I was just driving myself insane because I didn't have a clear-cut answer of my feelings for this person. And you were like, that's normal, Sophia. That is what getting to know someone is like. Like, you're not supposed to know right away. And that, my dear, has helped me so much. You have no idea how many times I'll be like going through these roller coaster of emotions with another male and being like, this is normal. This is normal. I'm supposed to be feeling this.
So happy to hear that. And I think that now that you're saying that, that's probably the thing that I say to you most often is you don't have to know. You don't have to know right now. You don't have to know tomorrow. You didn't have to know yesterday.
Yeah.
That's dating, and that's getting to know someone in a healthy way. The more time it takes to actually go through those emotions in yourself, see the other person, how they react to the world, how they react to being at the DMV. Like, I hope you know what story I'm talking about. That's normal. Like, you don't have to know right away.
And that right there, to anybody listening who is like me or was like me, that is so life-changing. So life-changing. And for you, that probably is like the most basic piece of advice that you could give to anybody, but to someone like me, that's crazy. That's like crazy to think about, because I have been just like in these relationships so quickly because I was like, oh, I know, he's my husband, he's gonna be my husband. That's what I thought every relationship should be about, was finding my husband. So once I made that decision that he's gonna be my husband, I just knew, and I just that felt right in those moments to be like, that's it, yep, I got my answer, I know. And so now that I am actually intentionally dating, taking my time to get to know the person, not rushing into making someone my boyfriend, there's a whole roller coaster of emotions that I really used to experience like in the relationship, like when I was already boyfriend and girlfriend, and like we would fight and like it would just be all these crazy arguments because I didn't really know the person when I agreed to be his girlfriend. But now I'm going through the roller coaster of emotions in a more healthy way before I'm even their girlfriend.
That's why podcasts are super cool too, and especially yours in particular, because you're talking about relationships, and for me, this just comes naturally. You know, I don't force myself to like make a decision on a person, or I haven't in my experience of dating, but you would never know that, and possibly your listeners would never know that if you don't hear the other side of the coin and how someone else is approaching their life.
Yeah.
That's what makes it relatable.
Exactly. So I know that there's going to be people listening who can relate to you, and then there's going to be people listening who can relate to me. And I think that's one of my favorite things about having you on, is like, we are so different in our way of thinking on a lot of things. We're very similar in a lot of ways, but there's relationship-wise, I think we're very different, but I think we balance each other out and help each other grow in terms of like relationships with men.
I have for sure experienced that. Yes. Like more so than any of my, I mean, all my friends are kind of like in different stages of their relationship, but kind of always have been like throughout life. So when it comes to you, like we connect and we share the same values, but I couldn't agree with you more, like approach relationships and dating so differently.
Yeah. What is like something that I have opened your mind to, or I challenge you to be more like in relationships with men? Do you know? You just have to
Yeah.
tell the people.
I think that you have empowered me to act upon my gut faster.
Let's go.
And with more, I always use this phrase, but like with my chest.
Yes. Oh my God.
And I hope you know what I mean when I
do.
say, like, when someone says, like, say it with your chest, like,
yeah.
when I have a gut feeling, I would just push it off for so long and, like, hold on to it or whatever it is. Either hold on to it or ruminate on it forever and ever and ever and just, like, let it eat me alive. Whereas now, when I have that gut feeling, you're like, just do it. You know it's right. Just do it. Today, now, like right now. And that has for sure changed the way that I think and allowed me to learn how to let go way faster, which I know is something I have a problem with.
That's amazing. I'm so happy that I helped you do that. And I am really proud of you because I know the way that you are, the way that Kay is, if you don't know her, is she is so chill and like so cool and so understanding of everyone's journeys and just like people in general. But with that, I see that like in a relationship, you are so understanding and just care so much about the people around you and their needs that you're willing to forget about your needs, or I guess, forget about your needs really is the right terminology. And you just are so focused on them and their needs. I guess if I need this, it's really okay if I don't get it, as long as I can stay in this relationship or if in whatever this situation is. And you've been so scared to like voice your opinion on certain things, which are important to be voicing in a relationship. And so I always tell her, girl, say what you mean, say it. And if the person cares enough, they will love that you said that. And they'll love that you're actually voicing your opinion and speaking up. And I'm just really proud of you for like actually doing it.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. I think it's so easy for me personally, and so like in this context, obviously I'm assuming somebody listening feels the same way. I operate too much on adjusting my wants and needs based on what somebody else wants and needs or is giving me. So I will very easily just ignore the fact that I have wants and needs because I'm almost too loyal. This has been a common theme like throughout my relationships. I'm just too loyal to the relationship, to the person, to like my own loyalty, like to my own word that I said I'm staying in this no matter what, that I will ignore my needs and adjust my wants based on what the other person wants.
And I think that comes from a fear of losing the person too.
Yeah.
Because you're scared to say how you really feel because you think they might walk away and not like what you have to say. But if they do walk away, then thank God.
I was going to say, and sometimes 100%, yes, they walk away. And that was something that for sure happened in my long-term relationship. As soon as I started voicing what I actually was not okay with, that's where the distance started. And that's where the animosity and like, that's where things really got bad. When I started to be like, no, I'm sick of you not like doing the things that you said that you're going to do. And I'm sick of pretending like it doesn't hurt me. And then it was like, basically I became difficult and then the relationship took a turn and then my life got edited to adjust what I finally actually wanted and needed. And yes, like the relationship ended and thank God.
Yeah. And that's why I tell you to, and I'm so annoying with telling you to like speak up, because if you don't speak up from the beginning in a relationship, which is something I'm always really good at, I speak how I feel all the time from day one meeting the person. If you don't speak up from day one, what you're doing is you're just building resentment towards that person. And you're just creating a blockage and a wall and getting angry at them or just like holding on to this feeling that is not their fault. Like they didn't do anything wrong because you're not telling them what you need. And then once you do give them that opportunity and you do tell them your needs, again, if they don't like it, they'll walk, which thank God, or they'll appreciate it adjust and you guys would make it work, and it would just be so much better all around. Open, honest. You'd feel more secure. You could trust them more. It's just you withholding your needs is like, essentially you're like creating this fake relationship, which is not really fulfilling you.
That's such a good point to speak up from day one.
Mm-hmm. Set the precedent in the relationship.
Yeah.
Like set the tone.
I'll give you like a totally unrelated example of a time in my life that I actually did do this. When I was basically becoming a teenager and starting to like go out and have friends and go to parties, and I watched some of my friends have overbearing parents who gave them these like ridiculous curfews. And I said to myself, that is not what I want. I'm going to approach this situation how I want this situation to end, and basically not care about my parents giving me a curfew or not even ask about. And I just set the precedent from the beginning, and I just did whatever I wanted. And then my parents had to adjust themselves to what I was doing. And the whole thing worked out really great for me because I had no curfew. I could do whatever I wanted. My parents totally trusted me because I was just a good kid and had a good track record in the first place. But because I was like, I'm not asking you if I can go out. I'm going out.
Yeah, exactly.
It worked really well. I need to do that in dating now.
That's literally exactly what I'm saying. Like, say it from day one, and then if they don't like it, they will leave from day one. And that saves you heartache. That saves you hurt and pain because you're not dealing with someone who doesn't actually care about you. The reason why you're in your last relationship that you were talking about, when you started speaking up, you became difficult because you were never that way. I am dating you because you're quiet. I am dating you because you have no needs. That's why I'm dating you.
And that's literally verbatim what he said. I have since had the pleasure of knowing what he has to say about me, and it was along the lines of, she would have never left.
Yeah.
I was there because she would have never left. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Right. I've been there too. Oh my God, I would never leave, ever. So I know how that feels. But yeah, that's what is so crazy about our friendship and beautiful at the same time, is that we're so different in so many ways in terms of relationships. And you have helped me with relationships to learn to slow down and to process and to not make rash decisions and to be okay in the unknown, which, was definitely something I wanted to bring up and talk about with you. Being okay in the unknown, or not being okay in the unknown. I want to talk about that in terms of in life, but more so I guess I would like to tailor it to relationships, because obviously I'm new at dating. And so when you're actually intentionally slowly dating someone, there's a ton of unknown. And for me, that's really, really uncomfortable. I hate it with passion. And you have helped me to try to be more comfortable in the unknown and sit in the unknown and the uncertainty more, but it's still really hard for me.
Yeah, it's not easy for me either. So I'll definitely say that. And it's the unknown, and it's uncomfortable. Like, so it feels uncomfortable. Like that is what, as humans, we're programmed to move away from, is anything that feels uncertain, because you don't know what's coming. So I've spent a lot of time in the unknown in a lot of my relationships. I don't know if it gets easier, but I think that it's important to find a person or a way that makes it less scary to deal with. And one of the ways that I have found that helps with that is communication.
Yeah.
Communication with the person and communication with someone that you really, really trust, i.e. you.
Thank you.
I wish I had like better tips for it, but what I will say is that one of the benefits of uncertainty / uncomfortable / a relationship moving really slow, for example, is that what you were saying from the beginning, you get a chance to really learn about the person and to really learn about yourself and what your needs are. So for me, something like that has really helped, because I pretend like I have no needs. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I actually do have needs because here's what I'm getting, here's what I want, and moving in that slow, uncertain phase helps you like weed through it.
Yeah, for sure. I see the benefit of the unknown, the uncertainty, and the slow pace of relationships and dating for sure. It's just a really scary feeling because, like you said, like as humans, we don't like to be in the unknown or the uncertainty because that's not how we were programmed, and we're just constantly in survival mode, which means like run away from that, run away from uncertainty, which is what I've always done. And so now to actually be in the uncertainty, and it's really hard for me, like every day I'm sitting in that and I'm just really uncomfortable with it. Like I just, at some days I'm like, I just want to know who my husband is. Like just give me his name. Like that would just like make me feel better. But that's not how it works. And it's okay to be uncertain and in the unknown and be uncomfortable. It's okay, and it's like really good for your growth and your relationship with yourself. Because now that I'm in this unknown, I'm just like trying to lean into it. And the more that I can do it, and each day that goes by, I'm like, oh, I can do this. Oh, I can do this. And it's just more and more proof that I can do hard things.
I think that I've also discovered in the unknown is when you develop a better sense of having a gut reaction, having a gut feeling, like just knowing in your gut and then being able to act in alignment of those feelings.
Something that just triggered in my brain was something else that I feel like you have also taught me this. So like we taught each other the opposite. Like I'm telling you to act on your gut reactions like right away, and I feel like you have told me to sit with it more. So if I am like, because I have a lot of feelings, as you know, and I feel a lot of emotion. So something will come up for me that could be like a dramatic feeling, and I'll be like, yep, this is it. Like this is it. I want to do this right away, right now. And you're like, well, just wait, sit with that, and just process. Allow yourself to process. And that is something that I've never done. I've just always reacted on my feeling immediately in the way that I'm telling you to do it more. I've always been that way. So now I'm really trying to like feel something in a relationship or in anything, in any decision in life, feel it and allow it to be there. And that's it. And take a step back and just let it be. And then sleep on it. And the next day, let it process again. Okay, how is Sophia feeling today? And process that same feeling and be like, oh, I'm actually not feeling that at all anymore. Like, whoa, weird. And you have definitely helped me with that, like taking a step back and processing the feeling before reacting on it.
I was going to say, you took the word out of my mouth. I was going to say, it gives a whole new meaning to the phrase sleep on it.
Yeah.
When you either force yourself or it just happens naturally to like have something happen, process it for the rest of the day, let's just say, go to sleep and then wake up the next day. There are certain instances where you'll do that and like have a totally different reaction the next day.
Yeah.
And then the next time something like that happens, you feel a sense of confidence of not having to react on it because you're like, well, last time I wanted to react right here in the moment, I woke up the next day and I felt completely different. And the encouragement to actually just let things process and you to go through the emotions and feel feelings is like such a little magical gift. It's hard, but it's a gift.
And it sounds, again, it could sound so small to people who just are good at doing that. But for me, I've never been able to do that. So that's another life hack. Once you feel something immediately, and it can be a very, very strong feeling. It could be a scary feeling. It could be a dramatic feeling. Don't do anything. And something that Corey Mascara, my man, meditation teacher, who has an amazing book that I gave you, Stop Missing Your Life, he talks about, which I've told you also, and you can use this with anything. He talks about that in life, there's always a stimulus and a response. And in between the stimulus and the response, there's a space. And where we can find true alignment and happiness is in that space. So for me, like I'm saying, the stimulus could be that feeling that comes up and makes me want to do a decision, like make a decision right then and there. And then that would be my response. But it's that space, that tiny, tiny, tiny space where you have that second to be like, no, not right now. And then my challenge right now to myself is to enlarge that space as big as possible before the response.
And mine was to do the opposite. Because I will get a text message and I will sit on that thing for days before I'm like, okay, now I'm prepared to respond and actually respond. Unless I'm driving a car, in which case I have extreme road rage. But in terms of, yes, the space, like there is always a choice. There's always like that pause, that processing time is so valuable. Some people take it to the extreme and leave you wondering for a little bit too long, but the change that can happen in that space where you're actually just sitting with something and like going through the emotions of it and actually like having your gut feeling and then playing out scenarios. Yes, I can get a little like rumination-ish with it, but for someone who responds to things quickly and has those knee jerks and then just does it, and then you're, you know, going through the after effects, because then you're going through the emotions of the thing, the emotions of reacting to the thing, and then the new emotions of your reaction. It's just so much, so fast all the time. Slow down, take a breath, and increase that space.
And I think for you, the space, you were saying you're trying to like close the space in terms of like relationship type things, I think. But for you, you're also, we talked about you enlarging the space for like your quick, you know, frustrating reactions to things like traffic or like someone cutting you off. Like this can apply, the stimulus response and the space can apply to anything in life. There's always a space. So when you're driving and someone cuts you off, that's the stimulus. And what's your response going to be? You have a choice. Like you said, you have a choice. Are you going to let that ruin your entire morning and scream and curse at them and shift your energy completely? Or are you going to just take a deep breath, let that energy out, and like turn on a really good song? In that space is where you can figure that out and make that choice. And I think that's something that where you have to enlarge the space.
For sure. And my initial response to anything, I was just telling you actually today that I was taking that like test that one of the questions on it was like, how do you respond to stress? And yes, for me, my reaction to things is frustration, anger, like I have definitely a short fuse when it comes to that. So it's kind of funny that in relationships I'm like super even keel and I have all the patience in the world, but when it comes to like, maybe when it comes to things that are outside of my control, like traffic or things like that, those are the things that really frustrate me. Like that's my stress response, is to be frustrated.
And go ahead.
And on the flip, like my response to relationships or like uncertainty is to just float around in this uncertainty forever and ever and act like I have no needs. And my space needs adjusting on both sides.
And mine too, because I was going to say mine's the exact opposite too, with your short fuse, your frustration and anger to traffic and things like that. I'm the complete opposite. My space is where I would like it to be in that situation. And so our spaces are just so different. Like our spaces in relationship are different. And with like short-term, quick, I guess, frustrating situations that come up in our lives, I don't let it affect me. I don't get stressed out about it. I'm like, bad luck, good luck, who knows, immediately. It takes something, I don't even know. Remember when my car got towed?
I was just going to give you that example. I was so shocked and impressed by the way that you handled that. To the point where I was like, I owe you smoothies for the rest of your life. That was the most beautiful thing. Like, thank you for opening my mind to know that you can deal with a situation like that, because I was ready to literally fight this guy. I was going to jail for you. I don't think you understand. I was like, her car is towed. These people don't care. This, that, and the next. They were threatened. That's wrong. No, I was going to prison for you. And you were like, la-da-da, let's go get coffee. And I'm like, no, let's go get
this man's life.
Brass knuckles. Like, I'm not okay. I was not okay with that situation. So I need to increase my space and not choose violence.
Yes.
And you were like, let's...
I was picking flowers already.
Literally, you were
in
like
the meadow.
skipping into the place. I was like, do not let me go in there. I'm going to burn that place to the ground. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. But that is why we balance each other out so well. Yeah, because I show you that you don't have to react, with violence to certain things. Yeah, we have a good balance, I would say, in that sense. But thank you for always having my back. Like,
You're
I know
welcome.
if I'm ever getting into a fight, you're my first call.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I know I wouldn't be insulted if you don't choose me.
I don't know, you're getting really strong these days, so I might have to choose you.
That is true. I am pretty strong.
If I need to run away from anything, you got me.
I'll put you on my back. Oh man.
She's super fast, in case anyone doesn't know that.
Thanks, guys. In case super strong, in case anyone doesn't know that, which I know you all know that already. I'm thirsty. Hold on. Remind me that we have to film the reel before you leave.
Okay.
Because I forgot about that until just now.
Uh-huh.
Intermission. Oh no, the buzz. Oh no, I'm not gonna move. The buzz is back. Okay. Oh, I don't know. We're gonna go with it because it's not buzzing now. So I have a bowl of a couple topics. So there's only 2 topics in here, which is totally fine because we're going to talk about each of them probably for like an hour. So we'll probably only get to one.
I love that.
And then we're going to do a game at the end.
Ooh.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Pick one. Close your eyes. Okay. There's 2.
Do I look?
Yes, now you can read it.
Whoa, it's long. Oh. Okay, so it says continuously finding yourself in unhealthy relationships.
Interesting. Show the people.
I'm going to show the camera.
Do you feel like you have been in this situation? Like in back-to-back unhealthy relationships, or overall, out of all of your relationships, have they been unhealthy more so than not?
This is a good question because I don't think I've ever asked myself this.
Ooh.
Do I continuously find myself in unhealthy relationships? I think that the answer to this is that I continuously find myself in misaligned relationships because I ignore my needs from day one.
So like what we just talked about.
Yes. Like I find myself in relationships, number 1, with avoidant men constantly.
Okay.
And number 2, with people that I know I can be better to because I don't feel that I can express my gratitude if they're good, if they're that good to me. If they can reciprocate what I can give them, I feel like I don't deserve that.
Whoa.
And, yeah. So here's
okay, love it. Keep going.
Look
Sorry.
into my brain.
Keep
for
going.
Sure. Yeah, I have a confidence issue in being able to reciprocate the same level that someone can give to me, and so I don't necessarily feel undeserving, but I feel like I could never live up to what I can give them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So you think that if they are really good to you, your fear is that you can't reciprocate that?
Right. Like there is not enough gratitude in the world for me to be able to express how grateful I am for them being good to me. And I need to feel confident that I can give you more than you can give me.
Which leaves you unfulfilled.
Right.
Because they're not giving you anything.
Yeah, it leaves me with an L from the beginning. Mm-hmm. Because I'm literally cultivating a relationship where I know that I'm going to get less because I will then know that I can give more.
Right. So you're expecting to get less than what you actually think you deserve.
Well, I'm setting myself up to get less.
Right, okay.
Like I'm not demanding more based on my own lack of confidence of being able to reciprocate the same things that they can give me.
Which is why you've ended up with those kind of men then.
Right. Which is why I've ended
giving
up
you like bare minimum and cheating on you.
Yes, exactly.
Is that okay that I put that out there?
Of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Did you know, you knew that already, right?
No, this is
info?
definitely new.
Okay, I love that you figured that out here. Mm-hmm. That's so interesting.
Yeah, so I'm in a healing journey for sure.
Yeah.
And I think like maybe a good thing to note now is that you will not always have it figured out. Like there will always be new places that you can go. There's always going to be like that higher level that you can grow to. Mm-hmm. There is no like a top of the mountain type of situation when it comes to personal development and like self-healing journey. Like it is literally a journey. You will always find new ways that you can change and challenge yourself and grow. So this is one way that I have for sure said to myself, okay, well, what does a healthy relationship look like? And why am I feeling like I have to reciprocate in order to receive?
So you feel like you can't just like get this like 5-star treatment with no hidden agenda. Right? Like,
right.
Or ulterior motive. You don't believe that it's like a genuine love.
Yeah, I think that I have a hard time. More recently, I've done like a lot better with this, but especially like given my past relationships, there was always an ulterior motive. Mm-hmm. So I'm used to someone, I'm used to not being able to trust someone because they have an ulterior motive.
Right. Your brain is just wired now as like you're just used to that. Mm-hmm. That's a lot. But I think what's really important for all of this, the growth that we're doing as individuals and, the self-development journey that we're on is when we are dating and when we are trying to find a relationship is finding a person that is fully in support of our own individual growth as people outside of the relationship. I think that's something that I just recently learned that is really important to me that I've never had before is a man who fully supports my growth. Like that is something that never was on my checklist of things. Like it was always like tall, dark, muscular, athletic. And now it's like fully supports my growth. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys, sorry to do this to you, but I have to cut this episode here. In our next episode, so the second part of this interview, we talk about toxic love versus healthy love. And we also talk about our struggle with balancing the gym into our lives in a healthy way. And then lastly, we play a little game that kind of took a turn, but it's a fun, cute ending to our interview. And I'm definitely going to have Kay on more frequently than every 6 months because we have way too much fun together. As you can see from this first part, there's just so much more topics to cover together. So hopefully you guys could relate. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. And if this episode helped you in the way that it helped me, then please tune in for the next one on Tuesday. And until then, happy healing.